I've been indie publishing since 2015. So I'm coming up to like my 8th year in this industry now. But I've been sort of surrounded by writing for as long as I can remember. But like when I say this, I kind of broadly mean it across the scope of not just writing, but most creative endeavors, because the principle essentially that I spoke about in that conversation was that I see a lot of authors who rightly so put a lot of effort into their first book. They make every word count. Every word is precious. Like the chapters, they're slow to come. Everything has to be perfectly manicured and crafted. You edit, you edit, you edit. My first book itself, I think I did about 17 rounds of my own editing before I then sent it off to an editor to then do more work with. And rightly so with that first book, there's such a focus on trying to make it as perfect as possible, with perfect being a problematic word, which we can potentially go into. Then what I then see is people spend hours laboring over making their ideal book, their perfect book. They put it out, they publish it, they try and market it, and it gets met with crickets. And this is probably more from the self-publishing side of things than if that's someone who went traditionally published. But what I then see is people go, oh, my book's not sold. I'm not a good writer. I'm going to quit. And it really hurts me. It really, really hurts me when that happens, because creativity, as in anything you do, is a process and it's something that you get better at stage by stage. But there's some kind of unspoken rule that we're taught within our nature. And I don't know if it goes back to the school system. There might be something in that basically says you either are a writer or you're not. In the same way that you're either a painter or you're not, you're either a dancer or you're not. And I think it's this very fixed mindset view of, okay, this book didn't work and so I'm done, rather than the people that I have seen that published the first book that hasn't gone as well as they want to, but then they've committed to that process and gone, okay, it hasn't gone how I wanted it to. Maybe I'm not the problem in that situation. Maybe I am. What's the information I can take from releasing that book and everything I've learned? And how can I move that into getting better as a writer?